As a child, the most frequently asked question was, what do you want to do when you grow up? When I would reply, I want to become an educator, the people I love most would look at me full of dismay and tell me, Nicole, there's no money in education. So many people try to steer me away from becoming an educator that I actually started to believe that teaching wasn't the right career move for me. The idea that teaching was my destined career path was solidified my junior year in high school when I took a CTE class called Education Professions. This is where I learned that the most important question regarding a student's future isn't what do you want to do when you grow up, it's who do you want to be when you grow up. I know I will never get rich monetarily through teaching, but I will get rich sentimentally, which is so much more meaningful. Thanks to the teachers at Washington High School, I now realize my dream is to become a teacher. My teachers at Washington High School have helped me grow immensely as an individual. They go far above and beyond their job requirements. They inspire me through their hard work and dedication. I cannot wait to become an educator so that I can impact my students' lives the same way my teachers have impacted mine.
Educators Rising is an organization full of opportunity, and I really saw that opportunity this past year when I took an early childhood education class. What I saw is that Educators Rising is not preparing the next generation of teachers. While that is absolutely true, that's not the point of this career and technical student organization. The goal of Educators Rising is to prepare the next generation of teacher leaders, preparing teachers that are competent within their profession, and preparing teachers that can share their ideas and thoughts, innovations with other teachers to make learning a better experience. You know, after taking early childhood education, I really found my education niche, and I really found that I'm more of a middle school person myself, and I know you guys are probably going, oh, middle school? 8th graders, 7th graders? Yes, I love 8th and 7th grade. But I've also found that I'm really interested in education policy, education psychology, and education research. So I really like looking at new and innovative instructional approaches and relating those to how we can make education better as a whole. You know, there are 2 conferences a year and you can interact with people within your state who are as passionate about education as you. But I've also been lucky enough to participate in things outside of, you know, our state leadership conference and our fall leadership conference. I participated in the Fordham Institute on Education Policy, which was a 9-week course on education policy within the United States. I was part of the cohort of 2016. I also am now part of the National Council on Teacher Quality Teacher Candidate Advisory Group. And I'm excited to be sharing my insights from the perspective of an Arizonan who is looking towards education as his profession, who is a student as well, sharing my thoughts and ideas with people across the nation as to how we can collaboratively make education better. Educators Rising truly is a game changer within the education system, and I'm far lucky, and I think this state is very lucky to be supporting such a great organization that is really dedicated to changing the future and the face of education. Educators Rising truly is a game changer within education, and I think it's great that there's an organization that's giving students the opportunity to explore this career that will literally change lives. You know, without Educators Rising, I would never have found my passion for teaching and education research. And it's really shown me that education is where I need to be. It's my home.
There are several people who have helped me discover my passion and inspired me to pursue it as a career. I came to the conclusion, through a few significant events in my life, that passion is teaching. My parents are probably my biggest inspiration as far as wanting to better myself and work towards something that I want to do. Now, my parents didn't exactly grow up angels, and as a result of that, it was difficult for me to feel like everything was stable when I was a kid. They both loved me a lot and always provided for me, but decisions they made when they were younger really hindered the way that they could function as adults. and when I was a kid, I really didn't understand the true impact of those choices. Some of my earliest memories were how they always told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do, or that I was meant to be important. Of course, when I was 5, important or whatever I wanted to do meant being a rock star or a rocket scientist. But as time went on, of course, my ambitions began to change, and I started becoming fearful of being an adult who actually had to decide on a career. By freshman year, both of my parents had already stopped living together, and I moved between their houses during the week. My dad started and is currently earning his bachelor's degree at Arizona State University, and I was happy to be living with both of them. Then, about 2 weeks before sophomore year started, my mom died. I remember it vividly. I was sitting in my brother's room when I received a phone call from my uncle asking for my dad's phone number. Then about 5 minutes later, I received the call from my aunt. She had to break the news to me. After hanging up the phone, I reveled in disbelief for a brief moment, and then I started to cry. Then I started to scream, and my dad came out of his room doing the same thing. I stood there and I hugged him and I cried for a long time. That summer we ended up going on a trip to Iowa for my uncle's wedding, and I had about 2 weeks in which I thought about everything that was going on. I came to the conclusion that I'm finite too. I realized that I wanted to do something, and that I wanted to be important and do something that I liked. And I thought about the impact that education had on my dad, and I realized that I wanted to teach. I wasn't quite sure how to go about doing that. Then I heard about EdRising, and decided that would be my first step towards becoming who I wanted to be. Through the program and working with kids at Maryland, I got to learn more and more about what being a teacher actually meant. I also had the opportunity of working with children on behalf of my acting academy, and seeing the impact that instruction has on them. One person in particular really showed me how much good instruction can shape someone's character. I work with a boy who has autism, and as president of my group, I took on the responsibility of mentoring him and teaching him how to use proper inflection and emphasis, as well as how to maneuver on stage. Over the years we've worked together, I've watched his acting skills improve and his confidence soar. We've also worked to improve his social skills, and as a result, he's much closer to being the actor he's striving to become. Working with him taught me something. It taught me that I should never give up on my dream to become a teacher. I know now, thanks to EdRising and my friend from the academy, that teaching is truly what I'm meant to do. I want to leave a mark on people. I want to pass knowledge on to them and help them grow as individuals. I want to inspire. And most of all, I want to make my mom proud. I want to give people knowledge that will impact future generations to come. And when I do, when I am a teacher and I get to impact others in the way that mine have impacted me, and in the way that I watched education impact my father, then it won't just be my parents that I'll be proud. I'll be proud. And that's why I want to teach.